It's a real honor today to welcome you to this very special occasion and event here in Centerville and Hickman County as your cooperative that represents 5 counties in our region. We have many of our board of director members here today, and they welcome you to this announcement and this event that is about to take place. It's an honor to represent you in a cooperative. It was over 75 years ago that your fathers and grandfathers decided that they would be able to do something collectively rather than individually. So they formed a cooperative to bring the convenience of electricity to the hills and hollows of Hickman and Lewis and Perry and Humphreys and Houston County, along with all the other communities across this great state of Tennessee. That was a noteworthy and a very historic event that took place. If you're as old as I am, you remember those days, to welcome in the bare bulb in the house. So we're here today for a very historic announcement. And certainly the cooperative spirit is alive and well, and we are so grateful and honored to serve this cooperative as your board of directors, and look forward with anticipation of what is about to unfold in our announcement in the forthcoming days. So thank you for being here this morning, and I think we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. This young crowd over here is going to lead our Pledge of Allegiance. So I ask that you participate here as this class comes in with their hard hats on this morning to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, what class is this? Oh, I knew it was Miss Chester, but I was trying to think what grade. Third grade class. So we're glad that this group of fine-looking young people are going to do what every one of us as Americans should be doing, and that's holding up the honor of our flag in this great country. So, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chester, for letting your children come over today. We appreciate them being here. Thank you very much. We couldn't have asked for a better day today in August to have a day like this. The temperature is great, cloud covers. We don't have the sun beaming down on us, but we appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much. On these same steps, 79 years ago, leaders from this community announced the formation of Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative with the purpose of bringing electrification to the 5 counties of Hickman, Lewis, Perry, Humphreys, and Houston counties. The availability of electricity in our rural areas of Tennessee brought prosperity and big city comforts to rural America. Today, broadband availability in rural areas like ours is just like electricity in the 1930s. Big cities have access to broadband, but rural areas do not. Today, that changes. I'm honored to announce the launch of a wholly owned subsidiary of Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative called Meriwether Lewis Connect. MLConnect's purpose is to bring affordable, world-class fiber optic broadband and phone service to every person in our 5-county region. MLEC's electric system covers 5 large counties, and it didn't happen overnight. It was built over time with members investing as it was developed to help light the way for the next home. MLEC's broadband will take the same phased approach across our 5 counties with a promise to reach every member that wants broadband. Since MLConnect is owned by MLEC, you as an MLEC member have a large stake in making this successful. When you get broadband and phone service from MLConnect, you are investing in your cooperative. and investing in the future of our communities, just like in the early residents of the MLEC service area did with electricity. The more people that sign on to MLConnect, the quicker and more economical we can build fiber further out in the rural areas. The world-class broadband and hometown service that will be provided by MLConnect has numerous benefits to the future of our communities. As your cooperative, it will help us deploy innovation to further improve the reliability of our electric service with smart grid technologies and automated switching. For our communities as a whole, it brings limitless opportunities in education, medical care, and economic development. Our world-class broadband brings our rural areas into the 21st century and prepares it for a bright future. I want to thank the MLEC Board of Directors for making this decision to invest in our communities and to bring broadband and phone service to all our members. I also want to thank our state legislators and the Tennessee Electric Cooperative Association for their hard work in getting the state law passed so electric cooperatives would have the opportunity to provide retail broadband. Electric cooperatives are perfectly poised to provide broadband because we help rural communities build essential services. MLEC's legacy began with power lines across the countryside. Today, it continues and expands with a smart electrical grid and broadband. With Meriwether Lewis Connect, your internet is getting more cooperative. With that, I would like to bring a couple people up to say a few remarks also. First is our board chair, Andy Porch, and Robbie Moore from the City of Lowell Mayor, and John Porch from Hickman County Economic Development. I have a few words to say, and then we'll have our closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to try to keep this thing squealing a little bit. As you said, I'm Andy Porch. I represent Humphreys County on our board of directors. I'm the current chairman. And as Wayne said, on behalf of the board, we appreciate everybody coming. This is very, very exciting for our 5 counties. You know, they asked me to kind of mention a little bit on how the board got to this point and some of the decisions that were made leading into this. And this was not something that was done in the blink of an eye, or you know, we just got up one day and said, let's do this. This was years, really, in the making. From all the way, I see Hal back here, all the way. I know he had a vision for this a long time ago, but this was something we put months and months and months of discussion in, and consultants brought in and took classes and learned from co-ops and other parts of the country and other parts of the state that have already made the jump where we are. And so this was something that we knew economically was going to be great for these 5 counties, and it's something that is desperately, desperately needed from a education standpoint to an economic development standpoint. It's just something that needs to be done, and I'm proud that I'm part of this organization that is launching this. It's going to be very exciting, but keep in mind, this is not going to happen overnight. This is not something where we can just flip the switch and turn it on. This is going to be all in about a 4-year, 46-month process to get everything built out in all 5 counties. It's obviously going to work in phases, and we're going to go as fast as we can, but it's something that you know, it's not going to happen overnight. So be patient with us. Help us every chance you get. You know, we're going to need, you know, it's a community effort. We're going to need everybody to jump in on this. And one thing I did want to mention that Keith didn't mention in his remarks, but you know, broadband is a very loose term, I guess. I don't know, but what we're going to have here is going to be second to none. It's going to be as fast as you want it to be, from a, you know, industrial standpoint, from an education standpoint. You're not going to be able to get it any faster than what we're going to offer. Rates are going to be extremely competitive, and it's just going to be, overall, it's going to be very good for our communities. And so with that, I'll hand the microphone over to who's next. Robbie, you know. Thanks again for coming.
For the record, Mr. Tommy, I've got down to 42 minutes. So I think he was worried. Him and Darrell Hill was quite worried about how long I might speak, which this is a good day, so a little lengthy speech would be very due, but it will not be very lengthy. But first of all, I would like to thank Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative for allowing me to be a part of this special day and this event today. But also a big thank you for the innovation and having the foresight for this game-changing technology for Houston, Humphreys, Perry, Lewis, and Hickman counties. This is not only for my little girl that's 8 years old, it's in the third graders there, but it's for all little boys and girls in those 5 counties for generations to come. So this is really a game changer. You know, I've had the honor of working with, as mentioned, state and federal officials to make this day possible, and as many in this room or many in this crowd today have. If it's changing state and federal laws to allow this to happen, or lobbying for monies. You know, I'm sure Mike Knox is probably here, but I know Mike has been on the forefront at both Capitol Hills, making sure this day would happen and make sure this day was possible. So I take a great deal of pride of working with Mike and others, as most of us have here. And two, it's an honor for me to serve on the governor's rural task force. And one of the main initiatives of the rural task force was one of our top priority was availability of broadband in rural areas. So this is very exciting for this to happen today. And seeing Steve Albrook here with Marshall Blackburn's office, I know I've worked with Marshall Blackburn, and so has others with the board and whatever else to make this day possible. And hopefully some of that state and federal funding will come help offset the cost to keep the rates down for everyone. But just like the electricity affected every household in the valley, this Meriwether Lewis Connect will also have a positive effect on all individuals in the 5 counties, from educational to industrial recruitment to retention, tourism, attracting positive growth, quality of life, and there's countless other ways that this will affect our part of rural America. Education will be one of the bigger benefactors of this by providing connectivity to our college or to our school systems, but also allowing our kids to be able to take advantage of a lot of the state programs, from the Drive to 55, the Tennessee Reconnect, and also taking online classes in colleges and universities, the TCATs. This can be a game changer for our area in the education aspect. In our 5 counties too, and I know speaking from local standpoint, we have a lot of home-based, internet-type-based business. And it's such a challenge doing business in these rural areas because it's hard to find dependable and affordable high-speed internet. Connectivity is a major issue. This will open up the door not only for these businesses, but for a lot of potential growth in the future. Quality of life, I think mentioned healthcare a while ago. I don't think people realize from a healthcare aspect, education, attracting industry, what this will do for our 5 counties. Meriwether Lewis Connect also provides the opportunity for what I call positive growth. I always use sort of an example of someone, and you could use any city, but just pick New York City. You can have a condo in New York City, and someone could go sell it for $1.5 million. They want to relocate out somewhere where you've got quality of life, low taxes, no state income tax, a lot of other issues. So they start searching. Tennessee is a real hot spot right now. They come down, they've got that $1.5 million that they were able to cash in. They can come down in our little part of the Americana and buy a few acres, build a house, still have money. You see all these shops around the square right here. That takes disposable income to fill those up. They've still got money. A lot of times they retire, but the one thing that they look for is connectivity. And it's a disqualifier. If they come down to our little part of the world and you don't have it, they go somewhere else. If it's Center Hill Lake or wherever else that has that. Today, that changes. And also, the same principles apply from an industrial standpoint. I know I see Helen Ozier here. A lot of times we'll have someone come down, look at a rural area, and connectivity. When you don't have that, you're disqualified. File 13, they move on to the next project. So today, this is a huge, huge day for our area from that standpoint. I know MLC's turned a lot of lights on, and this has potential to turn many more lights on. If you look at an aerial photo of our part of the state at night, especially Middle Tennessee, it's still pretty dark. Everybody in this crowd, everybody on this board, we do all we can to keep what little lights we have on and do everything we can to turn more lights on. This has the ability for generations to come to turn a lot more lights on and make our part of the volunteer state a little bit brighter. Also, our part of the volunteer state has a great export. Everybody's looking, thinking, what's America going to say? What great export does all 5 counties have in common? It's our youth. this has potential to give opportunities for our youth, our next generation, our future leaders, where they can make a living in our 5 counties and give back, where our talent doesn't go somewhere else. The pasture's not greener on the other side. We're attracting people to come in because our pasture is a lot greener than it was before this announcement today. So just a few little things to think about. But in closing today, I would like to thank Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative, all the employees, and last but not least, the board of directors, and a little shout out to both of my Perry Counties, Ronnie Averett and Tommy Graham, for having the foresight and ability and to help with this paradigm shift for rural America and our little part of the volunteer state. So thanks again.
Good morning. I speak to you today as the chairman of the Hickman County Economic and Community Development Association. Brenda Brock, our executive director, is on vacation and asked that I make a few comments. Having access to broadband services has quickly become the most important differentiating infrastructure of our time. Access to advanced broadband network impacts every area of American lives and critical to support our nation's competitiveness and economic development. Education, healthcare, business operations and innovation, workforce training, e-government applications all rely upon advanced broadband networks. Broadband infrastructure capability, according to the FCC a few years ago, indicated that 87% of Tennessean population had access to broadband that meets the FCC definition, leaving 366,000 some odd households and an estimated 850,000 people without access. If you could see that on a map, when you think about 87% having access, it's all clustered around the metropolitan areas, and it leaves these rural regions without. For example, only 2% of urban citizens do not have access to the 25.3 broadband definition connectivity, compared to 34% of rural citizens. Hickman County ranked 85th out of 95 counties, with an estimated 65% of our population without broadband connectivity. During the 2015 year, elected leaders, business executives, and economic development professionals across the state identified broadband availability as a key strategic initiative to improve future economic development efforts in rural Tennessee. In response, the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development undertook an initiative to assess the current availability and utilization of broadband and to provide strategies for the state of Tennessee to improve broadband services availability and utilization. Over 23,000 Tennesseans responded to their survey, providing that broadband internet enhances earning ability of households and provides employment and training opportunities. 23.5% of participating households run a home-based business, half of those relying exclusively on that home-based business. Telecommuting is also an important internet-enabled activity, with almost 26% of participating households telecommuting, and about half of those commuting 1 or more days a week with a formal arrangement with their employer. I know my wife looks forward to that opportunity. Over 36% of households in Tennessee reported additional household income from using the internet, with 20% of households reporting at least $5,000 a year in additional income. As we become more of a global economy, companies operating on internet sales will see a significant increase in sales, and industries will be more capable of making global transactions. Improved broadband connectivity will expand education and healthcare opportunities, greater access to online classes, stimulate technology and innovation and growth in our community. It's one more tool in our toolbox to attract industry to our community. On behalf of the HCECDA board, I greatly appreciate the forward thinking and courage of the MLAC board has shown in making this decision. And while the heavy lifting has just begun, I look forward to the benefits of their decision. Thank you.
Well, as I hope you can see, we're extremely excited to have this opportunity in front of us. We have a motivated and talented team put together. They're out here in the audience today that's working extremely hard, very hard, to make sure that MLConnect broadband is second to none. Just want to thank everyone for making the effort to be here today. We so much appreciate it. I do want to add or ask that if you live within the MLEC service area, please visit MLConnect website and register for service. You're not committing to anything there, but it will help us tremendously in our planning, and it'll also allow us to contact you when the service goes live in your area. So that's all I've got. I want to thank you again so much for being here. Everyone, have a great weekend and a safe one. Thanks again.
That's all we had for today. So, but appreciate it. Like Ken said, I appreciate everyone coming. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to working with you through MLEC and also MLConnect. Thanks a lot.